Ho 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 and hello fellow armchair imagineers. Jacob Weil here.
And Monkey.
And Claude Coinga.
And welcome to another dashing installment of DuckTales Crew-hoo. Today, that's right folks, this week we're bringing you Season 3, Episode 18, How Santa Stole Christmas.
It sounds ominous, but turns out it's really not.
Now, some of you might have heard the news that recently broke today. Today we're recording this as of the 2nd of December. Some of you might have recently heard that it's been pretty much basically confirmed that DuckTales will not be returning for Season 4. So
Yeah.
we're pretty much acknowledging that up front.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
thank
say more about it towards the end of the podcast, of the episode, of this video, this recording, this other synonym.
This
Yes.
review.
Yes, but as we've done so far, we will see the season through, and since we're going on hiatus, Tiki will been able to be caught up by the point the show returns, and he'll be here for the final stretch of episodes.
Woohoo!
Woohoo indeed.
The final count.
The crew who will all be here. So, we'll discuss our thoughts on this later at the end, but first, on to the episode. So, what did everybody think?
Yeah, it's I guess, not my initial wish for what I'd have liked to see with this plot. Like, honestly, I think the whole Scrooge hating Santa mystery would have been funnier if they just left it unexplained, but still an alright episode. I'd probably rank it below the previous Christmas special, but hey, it's not a bad episode at the very least.
What?
Yeah, it was a great Christmas special. Not as great as last Christmas, probably, but it was one of the great Christmas specials. And at least Scrooge's beef with Santa isn't like something stupid, like he didn't get what he wanted for Christmas or something like that.
That is a good point. I mean, I'd say.
Last Christmas I gave you my coal, but the very next day you gave it away.
Well, that actually does sum up what happens in the episode. But whatever. My thoughts are like, I would probably agree with you guys. I wouldn't rank it as high as Last Christmas. I mean, Last Christmas had a lot more going for it in terms of like high stakes and everything. Like, had like a more engaging plot, and the Spirit of Christmas Past was a unique take on the whole time traveling tale of Christmas. I mean, it was just kind of interesting to see this show's version of Santa. Hugh Bonneville, I think, brought a good jolliness to him.
And he's a polar bear, which makes sense.
Yes. I would have liked to see if like his elves were penguins or something. Well, penguins aren't at the North Pole, but I guess that's
they can make a joke out of that. Like, penguins. Well, penguins aren't at the North Pole. That's a foreign exchange program.
I mean, that actually would have been funny. But sorry, but forgive my temporary lack of geographical skills. But yeah, fun episode. Like I said, not as good as Last Christmas. Well, what's funny, the last Christmas episode they did. But
yeah.
But still, an enjoyable episode. Not as good as I also stepped down from a couple recent episodes, but still, even just an okay episode of DuckTales is still very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Scrooge was the villain of the episode in a way, so.
Yeah.
Which kind of harkens back to his original.
Yeah, it turns out his whole beef with Santa Claus was his fault.
Yeah, his own and pride.
He knows. Instead of he knows what he did, it was more correct to say Scrooge knows what he did.
Yeah, because it turns out Scrooge is So it's just that first reference my mind goes to is John Lithgow in that Santa Claus movie, like for free.
Like Scrooge's first appearance was actually in a Christmas comic. It was actually in like Christmas on Bear Mountain. So, I mean, has no bearing on the plot of this episode at all. But
no Bear Mountaining on the plot of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, they never referenced that at all in this series. I'm surprised.
But they referenced it in Last Christmas.
Bear Mountain?
Yeah, it basically says we have the screening for Christmas at Bear Mountain planned.
Oh, right. I mean, I remember, but considering that now Santa is a polar bear, they should have like doubled down on that reference.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, they did go to a mountain in this one.
Yes.
Yes. But Frosty the Snowman as a monster.
Yeah, that monster is definitely going to give some people nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
that's Krampus?
It's kind of like the.
That wasn't Krampus. No, Krampus isn't a snowman.
It's more like an abominable snowman.
Isn't he like a goat man?
Yeah, Krampus. It depends on like the telling, but Krampus is kind of similar to that. I mean, it's like a counterpart to Santa in certain cultures.
So if he was in this series, then he'd probably be a goat person.
Yeah, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would kind of like to see them do a Krampus special on this.
Yeah.
Do like a Krampus.
Maybe in the Darkwing spinoff.
Yeah,
if that happens. Mm-hmm.
If that happens to be a thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
I like how Webby hates Santa just because of Scrooge.
Yeah. And Della as well, but we see more time with Webby.
Unfortunately, we don't get to hear. Unfortunately, we don't know Donald's side of things in this.
Yeah, he seems to be more pro-Christmas.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that was kind of explained in last.
Yeah,
Christmas.
or maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he's neutral on the Santa thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, he seemed willing enough to help at least.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even speak at all in this. He just like made noises. I mean, Tony and Selma was credited for the episode, but he only really made noises in this episode.
Yeah. I think doesn't that apply to like Lena and Violet as well in this episode?
Yeah, kind of technically. Like they're technically
too.
Yeah. We get a bunch of cameos, and except for the Beagles, they don't do anything.
Well, one Beagle.
It's the Electric Mayhem on Muppets Now all over again. Heyo.
One Beagle is apparently a good Beagle, though.
Yeah.
Bouncer.
Bouncer Beagle was apparently a good boy Beagle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow, and we could get all the presents. Yeah.
Still all voiced by one person, though.
Well, yeah, props to Eric Bowser.
Yep. He follows me on Twitter, by the way.
Oh, nice. Mazel tov.
Yeah, that guy's like almost. I mean, I know this might be stretching it, but this guy's almost like a modern day Mel Blanc.
Literally, he's playing Mel Blanc characters.
Well, I mean, that's one reason why I brought that up. Like, you can't even tell it's him half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to see if Scrooge deliver presents to some of the villains.
Mm-hmm. Like Glomgold getting a gift.
Like, yeah, Glomgold. Maybe
I don't know. They flew past Glomgold Industries, so I don't know.
I wonder what kind of present. Well, Glomgold probably wouldn't have been on the good good list anyway, on the nice list.
Mm-hmm.
Curse you list!
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would like to see a Glomgold Christmas.
Yeah, that would be funny.
I mean, he'd probably try to bribe Santa for something.
The closest we got was that plan he had at the end in the Moonvasion, but that wasn't exactly the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I was the hero. That means, of course, I should be on the nice list.
I kind of wish they mentioned that in this episode. Where Santa knows about dressing up as him.
But it's always interesting to see a young Scrooge, though. I mean, well, I guess it's technically say younger Scrooge.
Yeah, younger. Yeah.
I mean, because technically we don't know how old he is at this point. At that
Yeah,
point,
he's told that he knew Santa, so.
and they said it was like implied to be in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he went backwards in time at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The chronology of Scrooge's age doesn't make it is kind of weird in this series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, since since the castle's keeping his family alive, maybe it's also aiding him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are questioning the age chronology of a gigantic talking cartoon duck.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's what this. I mean that's what these kind of shows lead to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, even the show brings it up. Like, remember Huey once asked, like, the Gold Rush? How old are you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, your parents are still alive? I'm surprised you're still alive.
But seeing like the foundation of like Christmas is like a commercial industry for Scrooge to sell coal. That kind of makes sense for his character, to be honest.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like the coal does have a practical purpose.
I mean,
maybe maybe like some of the exactness of this, coal conflict could have been a bit stronger.
I mean, to be fair, Scrooge isn't entirely wrong about like the practicality of coal. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's like about what you need and everything, but it's like both sides technically do have a point here. I mean,
Yeah, I guess it may also be a question of just how cynical a person is. So,
I mean, yes, Scrooge is kind of going about it the wrong way, but
yes.
I mean, and
As
technically,
Levy points out, like, who even uses coal anymore except to tell kids they've been bad?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the modern day like furnaces and gas heaters and all that.
Well, it goes back to how Scrooge grew up, though, because he mentions
Right.
in the episode he will have killed to get coal for
Yeah, he
Christmas.
says that.
Yeah, does Scrooge even use coal in his mansion now?
Oh.
I think he uses firewood actually.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, he leaves the invoice with the coal.
Mhm.
It's like, well, remember, if you want your coal, go for McDuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
yeah, that was a brilliant explanation for how Santa does it in one night. I'm not saying that sarcastically. That is a great answer for that question.
I mean,
The Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, the Feliz Navi Diamond.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said when I was young, like, how could they do it? Well, he's magic, so I mean, so why not actually use it? I mean, the show has magic already in it, so why not use magic to explain why Santa can do it all in one night?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
I wonder how the block
that just is.
I wonder if Fowl would go after that.
Yeah, Phantom Block go after Santa.
That's a good question. Like, 'cause on the one hand, Santa doesn't cause chaos, does he?
But something that can be used to slow down time.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely something they might want to get their hands on if they're going after things like something that can grant wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And
dimensions. Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that, like, around the end of the season, Santa gives the Phantom Blot a gift? And that informs, like, whatever decision Phantom Blot makes, like, if, like, say, turning to the good side or something.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be pretty interesting. I mean, who knows if Santa will even come back?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But Scrooge didn't find him back as long as he doesn't go through the chimney like some creep.
Let's not go through the chimney like a creep.
That's a fun line earlier on. It was like, if you do this, I'll never come here again. You'll save a fortune on traps.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, by the end of the episode, that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even the child Scrooge visits, like, is interested in, like, what kind of trap to use.
That was pretty nice. Apparently, from what I understand, that character is also like a very deep cut to a comic book character from the.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
After all this time, I'll be even surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but I didn't know that watching that, and I'm sure a lot of people want. I mean, the creators of the show even acknowledged it as like an extremely deep cut.
Mhm. She that girl reminded me of Cindy Lou though from The Grinch.
Right.
I think that's kind of like what it was supposed to invoke.
Mhm.
Starring
like
Matt Morrison as Scrooge McDuck.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Santa even calls Scrooge a Grinch at the end of the
Yeah.
episode. Mhm.
Well, I mean, he kind of is. He kind of became one. I mean, like he's a Scrooge and he's a Grinch,
Yeah. Though a nicer version of the Grinch.
and kind of Scrooge.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
So.
What about the boys in this episode?
What?
The boys, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. in this
Yeah,
episode?
not much of them.
Yeah, they pretty much just agreed to whatever Santa ever told them because they could be put on the nice list.
I like
I mean,
the questions he asked too at the beginning when he first comes.
yeah.
Like, how much does it cost to get bumped up to the nice list?
Yeah, Louis. That was Louis, right? Of course, Louis.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably the one out of all of them that would probably be on the naughty list.
Right.
I mean, Huey would most likely be on the nice list, and Dewey would probably be like probably somewhere in the middle, like he teeters back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
So
Louis probably but most likely on the naughty list.
I think he's at the very bottom of the nice list though.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, it's like eh.
Yeah, the way Santa describes it, it almost sounded like there were tiers to the nice list.
Yep, and I can understand like we said, Huey being on like the top tier, Dewey probably in the middle, and Louis on the lower tier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
I don't know, I
borderline.
think he would be higher though than Huey. But where would Lena be on the list though? That's the question.
Probably good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of considering how she was kind of again, that was all kind of against her will, and how she kind of redeemed herself.
And she had no choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like she's at least been adopted by Violet's family. It seems.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the official situation. They just never said it on the show.
Yeah,
Well,
for
I mean-
time reasons.
Well, I mean, now it's shown like she's
Mm-hmm.
like she's been adopted by the Saberwings.
Uh-huh. I bet the shippers were really happy with that scene.
Probably.
I would love to see the reactions though. Like Lena and Violet to when Webby kissed them on the cheek.
Aw. Let's see.
Mm.
I gotta say, like, Santa not having an angle at the end, that feels kind of like a twist in its own right, because you sort of wonder, like, is it gonna, okay, what, like, does Santa have some, darker side? No, he doesn't.
Well, I mean, other than the fact that he was lying about breaking his leg just to like basically spend time with Scrooge.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Otherwise,
is
he said-
the whole, that's no angle, it's Christmas. Which,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still kind of a lie, but it was to get Scrooge to help. But
I
even
wonder
though
why he picked this year of all years.
because the plot demanded it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm talking in universe.
I know.
Probably because Scrooge has his entire family back.
That's an idea.
So maybe you'd be a little bit nicer.
And
And that includes Della, so.
it could be because just like he admitted he had enough of like the bad blood between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wonder how Scrooge feels about the Easter Bunny, though. That's a good question.
I don't think he has an issue with the Easter Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'd probably know if he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, he loves he loves Halloween.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what Mrs. Claus was in this episode.
We didn't see a Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
Didn't even hear of a Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it happened in between when Scrooge and Santa started their business together, and happened between then and after their falling out. After they're falling out and in between the modern day.
Yeah.
Not even a mention though. That is kind of strange. I do kind of. But speaking of which, I kind of do like how they started about the humble origins of Santa Claus, which is actually rooted in his actual mythological origins. There's like this humble person giving away toys.
And the way Scrooge met Santa too, after trying to get coal from the swim woman.
Yeah, which turned out basically be like prototype, basically his elves kind of.
Yeah.
Which was really funny how he tried to get the coal.
He's like, yeah, he's basically Scrooge like, yeah, take this coal, you'll need it.
I'm cold, so let me in.
Yeah. I guess Scrooge kind of never learned tact in that regard.
Yeah.
That's not one of Scrooge's stronger suits. It's his tact. But again, like all Christmas specials, he learned his lesson at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And Santa's free to come back at the end, at any time. So who knows? Maybe we will see him again in a couple episodes.
And Launchpad will never crash a flying reindeer.
Yes.
he's like, I've never crashed a reindeer,
and you never will.
It's like he was actually considering crashing a reindeer. It's like, well, I mean, as far as we know, he did manage to crash the reindeer, so ready to go, Launchpad.
I wonder if he's on the naughty list because of that. His crashing.
I don't know about that.
I mean, he's a good enough guy. I mean, I don't think they'd put him on the naughty list for crashing. I mean, if he had malicious intent, they would probably do that, but he's obviously not doing it out of malicious intent.
Yeah, obviously.
So, and if anything, he'd probably be more on the naughty list for going on a rampage for Halloween.
Nice.
Anyway.
I wonder what Doofus got for Christmas.
Well, whatever it was, it stuck to his stocking.
Yeah.
Also, if they were going alphabetically, then based on this montage, they went to the Drake family before the Crackshell Cabrera family.
That is kind of weird.
Nitpicks!
And Della would be before Donald.
Well, it's probably by duck rather than probably by family name rather than alphabetic than first name.
Yeah. But then they go to the Beagles after the Ducks.
Yeah, it's
Saberwing Duck Beagle.
And Della just sleeps with a weapon in her hand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she has to be prepared for when Santa strikes.
But that's something she probably do daily, regardless.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she was trapped on the moon for 10 years. So, I mean, it'd be kind of it's more surprising if she doesn't sleep with her weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there anything else really to discuss here, like episode-wise?
Not that I can think of.
We pretty much hit all the major beats in the episode, given our thoughts, so I think it's time to go into what you wanted to talk about, Monkey. Or Rob?
Well, they used the Christmas
stuff.
What was it? Oh yeah, the Christmas theme song.
Yeah, they didn't do the holiday singer this time.
Yeah, they did, I think.
No, just the sort of overlays over the footage. It wasn't. It was still the regular singer for the opening credits.
Oh. It was?
That was the guy who sang the Christmas song for last Christmas.
Over the end credits.
Yeah, and for the theme song.
No,
He's
not
talking
the
about-
theme song. The theme song was still Felicia Barden.
That was a mistake
Yeah.
then.
I mean, the version I saw was the Christmas was the scene was I think it was I don't know if it was Chris Diamantopoulos or I think he's who sang it the Christmas song, but
Whoever it is, but it's like the version I watched had it was still the Christmas visuals, but the regular audio.
well, I had the Christmas audio.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. What
What?
version did you watch?
That's
Yeah.
whatever's on demand.
I mean, I watched the version from Disney Now.
Mm.
That is
Yeah.
weird.
Mm-hmm. The outro song was nice though.
Yep.
It was similar to the last Christmas one, but with different lyrics to fit the situation in the episode.
Yeah, that was nice.
Minus the visuals that were in the last Christmas credits.
It would be kind of interesting if they did an homage to Mickey's Christmas Carol if they did the end credits, kind of like another very famous appearance from Scrooge.
Yeah, that's what they did with the last Christmas
Yeah,
end
yeah.
credits.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been nice to do it again, though. As
Yeah.
I said.
Exactly. Yeah. But I get why they didn't do it.
Yeah, so I guess just whatever thoughts we have about the series ending.
Not surprised. That's me.
I mean, it's sad, but hopefully leads to a good ending. Sounds like they were prepared in general for this to possibly be the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially since they're ending all character arcs, like with Lena and Boyd
Yeah.
and that's
yeah, I mean, because I kind of suspected this to be the final season because the trend I noticed for the last two seasons was before season 1 they announced a season 2. At season 2, before season 2 premiered, they announced a season 3, but before this they didn't announce anything.
yeah, exactly.
So I
And
kind of
That's 18.
So that kind of led me to believe, is this the final season?
Mm-hmm.
And there is that question of yes, I'd still go see more adventures with these characters, but on the other hand, you don't want to have it run too long, longer than it should.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be winding down for something else too. I mean, who knows? They could be they could be preparing something new with the same creative team.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
heck,
right.
heck, the Mickey Mouse shorts moved to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying that's what they're doing for this. I'm just saying they could be they could be doing something else or preparing a new show or who knows. I mean, who knows what's going on behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, if this is the final season, I think they've really done a good job. Regardless, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean-
it's still a great series.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
Tower was the main villain. So
what Disney I've noticed they usually do is that if it's the final season, they let the creative team know at least so they have time to prepare the ending.
yeah.
So it's not entirely abrupt.
Although Star Versus though that was different.
Well, I mean, they did let them know they did let the creative team know that was just an entirely different story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just they kind of upped the gambit on that one, but that's beside the point. So it seems like they're ramping up for the finale. I mean, it'd be kind of strange to see this show go, but if this is indeed its final season, it's definitely had a good run.
Mm-hmm. And that makes Bradford's line in the season 2 finale more powerful. When he says,
Yeah.
"The last adventure, the last."
So what was this thing Rob, what was the thing you wanted to share?
It's a statement from the creators of the show.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I could read it aloud or something. I'm kind of having second thoughts, but in any case, screw it, I'll read it. Oh. We've always said that you have to go into every season of a show as if it's your last. Leave nothing on the table and have faith that your team will eventually be able to top it. With that in mind, we crafted Season 3 of DuckTales as one focused on legacy, on the future of the Duck family, and what that means, tying into questions and mysteries that were set up way back in the very first episode of our show. So ultimately, we were prepared for this season to be our last. Our whole team is so proud to be a part of the continuing legacy of these characters. Even more so, we're proud of the community that this show has given us, from our dear friends on the crew and cast to all the fans we've met both in person and online who share the same love that we have for these incredible characters. We're sure we'll have much more to say later, but right now we want to thank you for all your kind words and support throughout this whole adventure, and focus on delivering a fittingly epic adventure for Clan McDuck as the series draws to a close. Because at the end of the day, we're all fans, and we're all family. And family truly is the greatest adventure of all. Huh, that's weird. Usually there's some kind of crash before we can finish. Oh no, the ground!
That felt like Launchpad writing that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe once all is said and done we can do a retrospective.
Well, what do you guys think is gonna happen anyway?
Well, I mean, it's probably gonna be like what the final what the last two seasons did was like, basically, everything's probably a lot of stuff's gonna come back for the finale, and like they're probably gonna take down Fowl or something's gonna happen. I mean, hope it kind of doesn't like pull like a sudden downer ending.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Maybe
it's
like Scrooge gets a hero's death and then Beakley goes back in time and grows old.
Or maybe Scrooge retires finally.
Oh.
Maybe he'll finally retire with Goldie.
Yeah, exactly. And then maybe Donald takes over the company.
Donald, I don't think Donald would be one to take over a company. I mean,
with Daisy's help. So.
Oh, leaves it. Maybe something like, okay, kids, when you're old enough, you'll be running this.
But I mean, I don't know if Donald would be fit to run the company. He'd probably run it into the ground.
I meant Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby.
I know, but I was just continuing the thought of Donald taking over the company. But yeah, I could totally see him like leaving it in charge of the triplets and Webby. I mean, they would definitely be sure to continue Scrooge's legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the whole legacy talk that this season has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe once this season, like I said, during the retrospective, we can talk about the show's legacy.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Anything else to share?
Not really.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We don't know when the next episodes will come back. We'll be back, but you can be rest assured that when they do arrive, we'll be here to talk about it.
Along with Tiki.
Yes. And Tiki will be joining us. So until next time, woohoo.